Hey everyone, Tanner Bell here. Welcome to makersgonnalearn.com. In today's video, we are kicking off our fall-inspired week. This week, you're going to see our entire home transformed for fall. What we're really hoping with this video series is to give you guys the inspiration and the education of your Cricut machine to decorate your home for fall. Today, we're kicking off with some amazing Cricut hacks. You're going to see 3 different projects, and we cannot wait to share with you guys exactly how to make these, and it's going to be so much fun. But before we get started, I did want to announce that our fall sale is kicking off today, so you can go ahead and grab our $30 off our best value year membership by using the coupon code FALL30. We are so thrilled for everyone that wants to grab a membership before Black Friday, and they're able to take full advantage of that. Now, we are so thrilled this entire week. You're going to see different videos of fall projects and a lot of styling from Courtney, so we cannot wait. And today, like I said, we are going to be doing 3 different hacks. So we cannot wait to share these projects with you. So let's go ahead and jump in to our first one with this project right here. You're going to see us feature working with leather, working with the knife blade, and the engraving tool that we don't really work with too much. And I know a lot of you guys that have a maker or maybe have a Cricut Maker on your holiday list want to know more about working with leather. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So supplies needed for our first project, you're going to need a wooden pumpkin. We picked this one up from Hobby Lobby. It's called the Standing Pumpkin. I know a lot of you guys love figuring out what supplies we grabbed and ordering online. So it's just the Standing Pumpkin. It's 12.5 by 12 inches. So we love that. We have not our Lin Lily hot glue gun today. We're using just another Surebonder hot glue gun. We're working with this awesome stain right here, Flagstone. As you guys know, we are obsessed with this stain. We have a piece of cut up cotton fabric to stain with. And I talked about it earlier, but we're using 2 different specialty blades. So we have the Cricut knife blade, and then we have the Cricut engraving tool. Like I said, we don't work with this too much, so we're really excited to share with you guys how to use it, and I think you're gonna really enjoy. And then for leather, we just have a strip that we're gonna be working with, as well as we picked up some of the scrap bags from Hobby Lobby, and this is a piece in there. So this isn't faux leather, this is real leather that we're gonna be working with today. And when you're working with anything like that, guess what you need? You need your StrongGrip Mat. So that is your purple mat as well as the Cricut Maker. So you cannot use this project on a Cricut Explore. Now you could do this project with maybe faux leather, and then what we would do, instead of using the engraving tool, you would do some type of iron-on. So when we jump into Cricut Design Space, we're gonna break all that down for you, and we're gonna be able to share exactly the differences of using the Cricut Maker versus the Explorer, but you're gonna get the same result at the end of the day. So let's go ahead, stain this right here, and then we'll jump into Cricut Design Space. All right, so we're just taking a little bit of our stain on our piece of cotton fabric. You just wanna work with the wood grain. So we're just gonna go up and down, and we're just going to apply it. Notice we took a pretty big amount, and then we're gonna work it out across the entire pumpkin. That way, as you smooth the stain out, it's going to dry quicker once you kind of work it into the wood, and it'll be able to just kind of go in. Now, I like to do a little bit lighter staining a lot of times due to the fact that you can still see a lot of the wood grain. So a nice light coat will really go a lot further, and then it'll dry quicker, and you're able to finish your craft really quickly. And one thing that you're going to notice in these videos is that we're using a lot of neutral tones, so we're really popping the fall colors out in different ways. So you guys are going to definitely want to stick with us for the entire week of this week's videos to see the big reveal at the end on Friday. I cannot wait to share it with you guys because it's going to be a lot of fun. And then always be sure to get the edges of your pumpkin as well. If you see it on hobbylobby.com, you may see that it is has some lines in it to create the shiplap. We're just using the back of it. So you can have the shiplap side, or you can have this nice flat side. All right, guys, while that's drying, what we're going to do is jump over to Cricut Design Space and set our project up over there, so we're going to be able to do the engraving as well as the cutting of the leather. So let's go ahead and take a look at what cut files we're using from Makers Gonna Learn. All right, guys, first thing you need to do is grab 2 different cut files from Maker's Gonna Learn. Now remember, you can have a monthly membership at $19.99 a month and have unlimited access to our entire library. So you'll be able to come over and search over 3,000 digital cut files right here as soon as you become a member. But today, you can use that Fall 30 coupon code and get our best value year membership where you get fonts and so much more. But today we're working with one of our labels, and then we're also working with our Give Thanks cut file. So you can download both of these and import it right over to Cricut Design Space. So once it's over in Cricut Design Space, you're going to see that we have it all lined up right here. So we picked our label, as you can see right here, and then we were able to contour out a few pieces to create the backing. So the backing label right here, this is going to be what we're cutting with the leather and the knife blade, okay? And then what you want to do to the other layers is after you have them selected, you're going to want to change them, change the line type. So the line type is always default cut. You're actually going to use the engrave. So as you can see in the upper top left, you're going to see line type. Click that drop down and it's going to open up to allow you to go from cut to draw to score or engrave. There's deboss, wave, and perforated. So we're just going to click engrave and you're going to see it's going to give the same look that it would if it was going to draw. Okay, so the next step is to repeat that for your give thanks. So what that does is, here's what it looks like when it's a cut layer. Again, go up to the line type and click on it and then go down and select engrave. Okay, so now we're going to take the engrave layer over to our label. And one thing I like to do just to help me is select both of the layers and then click align and align center. Okay, so now it's perfectly situated right where we need it. Now, since this is 2 separate layers, we need to attach these together because look what happens when we click make it. You can totally tell this is not exactly lined up how we need it. So click cancel, and then what we're going to do now is we're actually going to weld together the give thanks. And now when you have both of these layers selected, the give thanks and the engrave layer of the label, and click attach, which is like a paper clip. So one thing we love about attach is that, remember, weld is permanent, and anytime you're manipulating letters and wanting them to touch and things like that, you need to weld those. But when you have 2 different layers that you just want to position together, like in this instance, you want to make sure to attach. The best part is you can, move it around on your mat and it's going to stay together, as well as it's going to repeat that on the actual mat. Okay? So then after that is attached, you're actually going to drag it right into the position of the label, and we're going to select that again, and we're going to click align center. So it's just centered that up. And right here, you can see our final project. Now, one extra step that a lot of people forget is if we want to create this all on one project, look what happens if we click Make It Now. You're going to see that we're actually working with 2 different mats. So there's an engraving mat and there's a cut mat. And I see so many different Cricut users getting frustrated. Well, what we need to do is just go back, and we need to select all of this. And just like we attached the give thanks because they're engraving, we're actually going to attach it with our cut label. So once you click attach now, you're going to see it is all going to stay together on our Cricut mat, just like it is here on the Cricut canvas. So once we click make it, you can see right here, one mat, first it's going to engrave, and then it will cut. And the way we know that is right up here in that top left-hand corner. It's going to engrave, and then it will cut. Now what we're going to do is prepare our mat and start the cutting process. First thing before we move forward is we already determined we are engraving first. So let's open clamp B right here, open it up, grab our fine point blade, sit it over in the extra tool caddy, and now we're popping in clamp B the engraving tool. So that will be ready to go when we're starting to cut. Next, what we're going to do is remove the plastic of the StrongGrip mat, just like so. Be sure to go ahead and keep this handy because you're going to need to use this after you're done with your project. So I like to lay it out. And then again, I love working with the scrap pieces of leather. So we're just going to take our scrap. We always default on Cricut to put it in the upper left-hand corner. So we're just going to put our material there. And you can still move it around if necessary, but that's where it's going to always default. Okay, my friends? So we're putting our leather on here. It's pretty thick leather. I'm so excited to see, and teach you guys exactly how to do it. So it's on the StrongGrip mat. This is a nice, fresh StrongGrip mat. This is how it's on. So now we can load this into the machine. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Now that we've turned our machine on, what we want to do, since we're working with real leather, we're actually going to move some of these little stars over to the side so that they're not going to give any indentation onto our leather. So we're really relying on this StrongGrip mat to keep our leather in place. So we're going to take that and then load it up. And now what we're going to do is come over to Cricut Design Space once again, and we're going to pick our material setting. So we can click continue. It's going to connect to our Cricut Maker. So for the engraving step, we're going to click browse all material, and we're going to type in tooling, and we're going to find the tooling leather setting. So you have, 3 different options. We're going to choose the thickest right here for tooling leather. That is 2.4 mm, 6 to 7 ounce, and then we'll click done. And we have already made sure to calibrate, so we do not want to do that. And this is a great time where you can give a little bit more pressure for the engraving process. Now, one thing you want to do is read all of the different steps right here. So it's going to let you know to prevent damage to the machine, ensure the material selected above matches the material on your mat. So once you're good to go and you've loaded it in, we already made sure our engraving tip is selected and we've loaded it in, you'll see the flashing Cricut button. Once you see the flashing Cricut button and you've double checked everything, you're gonna be good to go to press the flashing Cricut button. So let's go ahead and press it, and then we'll be able to start our cut. All right, guys, so after the engraving is complete, all you're going to do is notice on Cricut Design Space, it's going to let you know that you need to install your knife blade. So at this step, you're going to not unload the machine, do not touch it. All you want to do is go to the clamp B, open it up, grab your engraving tool, sit it right here, have your knife blade ready to go, and we're going to snap it into clamp B, just like we did with the engraving tool previously. And now, once it's loaded in, all we're going to do is press the flashing Cricut button once again for the final cut. All right, guys, we've unloaded it from the machine. All we're going to do is kind of peel it up, make sure it cut through properly. You always want to check that a little bit before unloading it in case it needs an extra pass. Some leather, you'll find that it needs an extra pass or two. That is totally fine, but this did 16 passes, so it is nice and cut well. So you'll see that it's engraved. We had one already finished here, but they both look amazing. So you're able to do everything you need. Sometimes you may want to trim up any of the edges if you don't like that grungy look, but we really love how the engraving looks on leather. It's such a vibe, and it's perfect for what we're trying to achieve this fall. So let's go ahead and finish our project. All right, guys, the last and final 2 steps, super simple. We're going to hot glue our amazing engraved leather right here in the center of our stained pumpkin. And then we're going to do a little bitty hack where we're going to wet our leather so we're able to manipulate it a little bit better. And then when it dries, it's going to stay exactly where we positioned it. So that's a little fun hack working with leather. And we are going to just be able to take our hot glue gun right over here. And we're going to just apply some of this hot glue. And we're just going to get it going. And again, this is leather. I do not want to get the hot glue too close to the edges because it will separate. And once you start applying pressure, we're going to now take it and we're going to position it right here in the center. You do want to work fairly quick. So I'm going to flip it around just like so, and then position it right here in the center. And then we're going to apply some pressure. You can take a double look before it completely dries. Then apply that pressure. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to get this a little wet and then tie a nice knot right here at the top. All right, so now that that's glued on, we're just going to take it right here and we are going to tie a knot or two. This is really nice because once it's wet, you're able to work with it a lot better and then it'll be able to be worked with. So you can take this, sometimes we wanna double knot it. You never really know until it's exactly how you want it for a little bit of a little extra leather feel. All right, guys, for hack number 2, we are using the 143 faux leather, which we are all obsessed over. And we're going to use this to create a really fun pennant. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to make sure to share with you guys how to build it in basic shapes. Then we're going to take a Maker's Gonna Learn cut file, slice it out, and you're gonna be able to see exactly how to do that with the hacks that we have today. But for material, I've already went over that we're using the 143 faux leather. Now notice we brought out our Martha Stewart Explore Air 2. As you guys know, it's my favorite. I love the colors, I love all the tools that it came with, and it's awesome. But we're using the fine point blade. So any Explore Air friend can do this, any Maker friend, exploring up, you will be able to cut the faux leather. In addition to the faux leather from 143 vinyl, you're also going to need a bud vase. This one was found at Hobby Lobby, so try to grab one when it's 40% off, or you could just use the 40% off coupon. Fun little tip. Then what we're doing is going to use some acorns to fill inside the vase, but you want to make sure you have a nice neck right here because that's actually where we're going to put the banner. And what we love is that with the faux leather, you can use a standard grip or a strong grip mat with it. I do not recommend a blue light grip mat, but any other mat should work well. And then last but not least, you're going to need some type of hot glue gun. So let's go ahead and share the Design Space hacks that we have today over in Design Space. All right, guys, we're over here at makersgonnalearn.com, and the cut file that we're actually working with today is our leaf silverware holder. So this is just an awesome leaf, and what we're going to do is share with you guys how we're able to contour out where the silverware goes. This is actually made for a place setting. You guys may remember a few years back where we actually created this one, and it's so fun. But what we're going to do is just upload it over in Cricut Design Space. As you guys can see here on our mat, we have it. And then what we're going to do is quickly click Contour, and Contour allows us to select any of the lines that we may not want to use. So we're going to select these 2 little lines, and now you have your leaf. And then you can size it and do whatever you need. So as you guys can see, we already have one placed right here, and we have 2 basic shapes that we're working with. So you're going to first want to take a square, and you're going to want to go ahead and unlock this, and we want a width of 4.5, and then we want our height to be 1.5. Now that we have this rectangle, what we're going to do is take another square, and we just want to come to the left-hand sidebar of Cricut Design Space and click Square. And then right here, we're going to make it 4.3. And then you rotate it. So we're going to rotate it right here to center it up. And we're kind of using this as some type of triangle to create this little angle right here. Fun fact, you can hold down Shift while turning to make sure that it's going to be perfect. And that's going to get you right to where we are today up here at the top. So what we're going to do is take this right here and position it and line it up right to where they're going to touch, just like so. And then we can go ahead and select the two squares. Notice we have our little leaf right here. We're going to take it out of the way. We're going to select both of these and we're going to click slice. So we've sliced these layers out. We have these right here, good to go. These we do not need. And now we have this one right like this. So what we're going to do now is bring our leaf right here, and you can see it's back behind. What we want to do is click Arrange, Send to Front, just like this. Go kind of position it right here, give a little room. And then once we're there, we're going to just slice the leaf out as well. The reason why we couldn't slice both at once is due to the fact that you can only slice 2 layers at a time. So now we can delete those and we have half of our pennant ready to go. So what we need to do at this point is we're actually going to duplicate the layer. So now we have 2. We're going to move this one right over here, and then we're going to go up to flip, and we're going to flip horizontally. So just like so, we have now flipped it. So this is now going to be able to wrap around our vase. But the last thing we need to do is weld these 2 layers together. So what I want to do is overlap them just the slightest. Make sure they're all lined up. So you can select these 2, make sure they're lined up properly. You can zoom in. Sometimes that just gives me better peace of mind. And then we can go ahead and click weld. So notice to the right hand sidebar, you're going to see 2 layers, and once we press weld, they become 1 layer ready to go, and we are able to build this adorable little banner all with basic shapes and a Maker's Gonna Learn cut file. Now what we're going to do is cut it out using our fine point blade and using the 143 vinyl faux leather. We're going to press Make It, and you're going to see it's right here on the mat. We'll press Continue. We're going to connect to our Cricut Explore Air 2. Once you've connected your machine, you're going to now set your material. Now with the Explore Air 2 or the Cricut Maker, you're going to cut this with the faux leather paper thin setting. So it's right here under Popular. We're going to select that. Feel free, if you have a dull fine point blade, to give more pressure, and then you'll be able to load your leather onto the mat and begin cutting. So now that it's cut, the biggest thing is it's going to look like it's not cut. But what you want to do is have faith. You're going to unload your mat, and then you're going to take it right here, and you're going to be able to look at that. It is able to be cut perfectly. I mean, just look at this right here. Look at these beautiful faux leather cut lines. I just love the detail that you're able to do with this 143 vinyl faux leather. And then, I mean, you even have these little bitty leaves you can use for another project, which is awesome. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to bring in the bud vase. We're going to kind of start positioning it, and you can see where it kind of lines up. So we're going to glue this just like so. Line everything up. It's really easy to line those 2 up right here. With just a little hot glue, we're going to be able to glue it together. And then for finishing touches, we've added in just another extra little piece. So now we're going to kind of glue it all together, finish it up, and then we'll add our pine cones. All right, guys, we were able to add this right here, hot glued it, and then we added us a little leather accent, and now we're going to take our little pine cones and we're just go pop them in one at a time to our vase. If you have any difficulties putting any in, just give it an extra push and you'll be able to pop these in. These are found in the Christmas area, but they're going to do great for your fall decor as well. The best part about this project is that after fall's over, you can actually just change this out to some other type of leather or anything like that for your Christmas decor. So you can leave these in and just change it up, whether you want to use felt, you want to use a different color leather, a little different slice out image, whatever you want. All right, guys, for our third and final Cricut hack project, we are still working with our faux leather from 143 vinyl. We are so excited to create a beaded pumpkin. Now, what we're going to work with today is something that you guys may have not seen us work with too much before, and this is wired jute. So what you're going to need is 2 pieces to start off at about 18 inches. So you're going to cut 2 pieces at about 18 inches for today's project. So we're just going to take our wired jute and we're just going to cut it right here. You can eyeball it, but we want to work with about 18-inch pieces. So you just want to take this and we're going to cut it right here. So after you've been able to cut your first 2 pieces, what you're going to do is take it over and create an X. And then after that, we're actually going to pick it up. And then at this point, we are going to take the 2 that are the same and we are going to flip it over. So we're going to loop this over just like so, keep it tight, just like that. And then we're going to repeat that to this piece right here. So we're going to move this up and then wrap this down. And then tighten it up. Now that you've been able to wrap them around each other, you're going to have this right here. So this is one set. You're going to want to repeat that so you have 2 of these so that there's 8 different strands for your pumpkin. So now that you've repeated it twice, you're going to lay these right here and we're going to repeat that same process, and this is going to create a really solid base. So you're just going to take each piece, and it will get a little confusing, but you can just wrap this over each other, wrap this around, and send this over to each piece. Send this over just like so. Then we have one more. And I believe there's actually one other that we have not did. So we're just going to send this over, then pull this over. And then you want to kind of work out any of the imperfections. All right, so after you've been able to situate that, what we're going to do is we're going to take our wooden beads and we're going to put 11 beads on each strand. So you just want to take 11 and you just want to count for this right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth for each strand. All right, guys, after adding 11 beads, you can see that we're starting to take it and we're starting to form the pumpkin. And this is why we love the wired jute. So then you're going to, at the top, take it and kind of just twist it. So we're going to just take these 2 right here and just twist it right up here at the top. You want to make sure you're close together as you can, but leave a little bit of room. So you're just going to take it and then twist. I like to twist about twice. And then you're going to kind of just have your pumpkin starting to form. Obviously, there's still plenty of room to wiggle with it. And that's one thing I like about this project. It's very forgiving. You're able to work around with it. And once you get the concept, you'll be able to kind of see the pumpkin truly come together. So now we've repeated it to each side. You can start working out anything you need. The wire's really easy to work with, so we like that. Now we're going to take it, we're going to bring all of them up here at the top, and we're actually going to wrap them all together. So you're just going to take these and start wrapping. So as you can see, the pumpkin is definitely going to look a lot better, but what you want to do is try to start wrapping it and get it as tight as possible. Remember, we will come back and finish this off. One tip is that some of the wire for me is exposed, so you do want to be careful not to poke yourself with the wire. Just kind of work in a motion, just like so. Wrap it, and at this part, you can kind of try to get a little bit tighter at the bottom. And now you're gonna be able to take your pumpkin and start fluffing it. You can create your little loop with your pumpkin and start getting it ready. This is the step where, like I said, it's very forgiving. So if you need to do any adjustments, now is a great time to do that. And we're going to kind of just fluff it, make it a little bit easier to work with, move some over. You want to push any of the beads if it's not able to sit flat. You want to be able to stall this, obviously. So now we're able to just kind of work around. Obviously, everything has a good side, am I right? And now, once you're happy here, you'll be able to take a look at it, and we're going to wrap a final piece over here for our stem to kind of finish it off. As you guys can see right here, it isn't looking super clean, am I right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to hide the end by tucking this piece right here. We're adding in a new piece, and right here at the bottom, we're going to start twisting it, and then this is going to give us some really nice clean stems for our pumpkin. And as you guys can see, we're just gonna take this and we're gonna wrap it around the entire stem. I like to keep it nice and tight. And by doing it this way, you're gonna see that the starting point right here is just going to get lost, just like so. As we wrap around, it's gonna be tucked in, and we're gonna have a nice clean effect. So look at this. This is looking much better than all of these pieces coming together. And no one is ever going to know that we were able to hand make this with our own beads and our jute. And there we have our pumpkin. Look at this. We're so excited. And then, like we were talking about, we have already cut out with the Cricut on the faux leather, just like we did with the other project, these two beautiful leaves. So we were able to size these. These are from our Makers Gonna Learn membership as well. So you can just cut these out with the paper thin setting with the 143 vinyl faux leather. This will be linked down below. It is such amazing, amazing faux leather. We love it. And then all we're going to do with our hot glue, my friends, is we're gonna glue these right here, just like so, over in the corner. So just like this, we're gonna add a little hot glue and connect these, glue these right on, and we'll have an amazing beaded pumpkin that we made completely from scratch. What did you guys think of all the different ways that we were able to use Cricut in our fall decor? We are absolutely so thrilled to kick off this fall crafting week with you by sharing with you guys 3 different projects. What I want you guys to do right now is to go ahead, leave me a comment down below, letting me know which one is your favorite. There's so many. I expect to see all of you guys sharing any of these projects over on social. Be sure to tag us, Makers Gonna Learn, on Instagram, post them in the member-only Facebook group if you're a member, and I hope this video today has inspired you to go ahead and join our membership if you have not already. The details for joining with the coupon code to save $30 on your best value year membership is going to be right down below. The first link, it's going to have everything you need and so much more. Thank you guys so much for watching. Give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the Makers Gonna Learn YouTube channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you tomorrow for another awesome fall project. Bye guys.